Hi everyone, this is Cherie from Paper Pieces and Leftovers, and this is a completed boy from Marjorie Ann Designs, Backyard Beach Party Boys. I do use dots from 12 by 12 Cardstock Shop, which I can put the link in the comments, and also the doodle sticks by Imagine Crafts. This is the finished piece, so stay tuned if you would like to see the process to complete him. All right, everybody, thank you for staying. So I've already dry put him together before gluing him together just because there are so many pieces. I'm gonna start with the floaty, the noodle, yeah. I think it's called a floaty in the file, but it comes with boy number 1. And I cut the width out in Cricut Design Space at 9.50. Now I'm working on the towel. It has 2 little pieces that are like for where the towel will fold, and I'm just going to go ahead and put those on. I cut them out in the same color. I just changed the colors in Design Space to make them cut out in the same color. Now I am going to separate all the pieces left and right, and I did take a pen and mark where the legs go just so that way I didn't have to fuss with them again. The first thing I'm gluing down is the arms. The skinny one goes on the left, the bigger one's going to go on the right. I've already pre-inked everything and did the eyes just to save time, even though the video is in 2 times speed for viewing, only because I was watching TV while I was gluing. Next thing to go on is the legs, and that's what those little pen marks are. You'll see, and that was just so I could just set them right down and I didn't have to figure out by moving them up and down while the glue was on them. Excuse me. Okay, so I got the legs. I'm using my little squeegee bone folder, and now the soles of the sandals are going to go on, and there's one for the left, one for the right. I believe they're the same size. I just picked one up and put it on the left, and the flatter part goes on the bottom, the rounded part goes up. Now you're going to have 2 oval flesh tone colored pieces, and those go on the flip-flop bottom. I don't think there's any specific place they have to be. I could have put them up a little higher, but I didn't want them too high just because I wanted the toes and the top of the sandal to show a little bit more. After you get the bottoms of the feet on, now go the sandal tops. Same thing, the left and the right, they're the same size, so it doesn't matter which one you pick up. I am using my art glitter glue, which is only because my Barely Art glue bottle wasn't refilled. So now I'm putting his toes on. So I did the legs, the soles of the sandals, the pads of his feet, then the top of the sandal, and now his toes. And next, after I get those all lined up, I'm going to pick up the body, the trunk of his body, just so it goes underneath his shorts. Once again, way too much glue, just because I'm not used to using a dot here and there. It's not that I don't trust the glue, it's just a really long habit of 18 years, but we'll skip on. Okay, so now I'm going to do the left leg trunk, now the right leg trunk. And there was a little bit of the base showing, which is fine because the noodle and the towel are going to cover up the outer part, so just scoot them in, that way the base isn't showing on the inner part of the thighs. Now went his waistband, and I went ahead and cut out a little piece of embroidery floss for his pants. I did do the sunglasses and ran them through my Xyron. And for my acetate here, I cut out the sunglasses, not the lenses, but the sunglasses, and I clicked the contour in the bottom right of Cricut Design Space, And I hid the lens part so it was a solid cut of just the outline of the sunglasses. I'm just going to take the sticker maker piece and place that right on the acetate. The reason I am putting the body on it instead of using anything else is because I don't want my fingerprints all over it. And also the squeegee, it will pull any glue or anything it's touched, and I didn't want to drag it across. Here's my pan pastel black. I'm going to go around the eyes with one of my false eyelash applicator tools. I can put the link on my Facebook page, not an issue at all. Now that I figured out how to direct share it, because I was having some issues, my links were saying invalid. I thought maybe I was doing it wrong. And I'm just going to go around the outline of the eye real lightly, not heavy-handed. I do have a dark gray also. Sometimes I'll use one and not the other. It just depends on which one I grab first. I blend it into the cardstock real well so that way you can't see the little indents in the cardstock. And now I'm going to put a light coat of pink onto the cheeks. Nothing too heavy, just that way it's not overpowering. I don't want him to look sunburned. That side was a little too dark and it went up too high, so I just took it down a little bit. So now we're going to glue, I believe, the head on. Yes. And once again, way too much glue. I got to work on that, you guys. Remind me in the comments when you see me doing it. That's way too much. And there's my little squeegee bone folder, just making sure the glue is evenly distributed. And now I'm going to place the eyes just up against the outline and the edge of the chalking and the pen. And I know later on towards the end of the video I stopped it for a moment because I forgot to cut out the back part that goes behind the sunglasses. If you've seen, they were just acetate like regular glasses. These are my pre-printed circles. They are 0.8 by 0 or 0.08 by 0.08 in Cricut Design Space. That's so I don't always have to mess with the gel pen and try to get it even. I can move them around. This is just my preference. You don't have to do it. Yes, it adds one more layer onto the eyes, which makes it a total of 4 layers if you count the base white, the brown color, the black top, and then the white dot. But I don't mind. Now I'm going to add his nose on, and I wipe the excess off on my hand just because I used too much glue. And now I'm going to put that little bow that I tied together for his drawstring. I'm going to glue it right down to the waistband of his swim trunks. I thought about doing designer trunks, but they're going to be covered by the noodle and the towel, so I just left them with the ocean blue by American Cardstock. And my skin tone is peach. Nope, shrimp. Sorry. I used shrimp from American Crafts. And my hair color is chocolate because the lady's son, he has very dark brown hair. My noodle is just the regular rouge red, and the yellow, let me look while I'm gluing that down. I'm just putting the pool noodle and the towel down. For my towel, I used Tulip. And that one is by Coordinations. I've had it forever, so don't get upset with me if you can't find it. I got it from Joann's years ago. It was in my stash. It was just a little scrap, so I wanted to utilize that. That's where my little glue dots come in from that I use, the Zots. And that is just going to go between his arm and the noodle, so the noodle doesn't end up with an indentation because it's on so many layers. I want it to stay very flat and flush with the rest of it. And now I'm going to glue his hand onto the noodle. And this, just for your own FYI, measure the hands out before you glue them down with permanent glue. because I had to move my hand a little lower than the picture, and they were a little bit off. I don't know if that's going to bother anybody. It does me. Most people wouldn't notice, but it was just me. So now with the back part of the glasses, this is my trick. This is my preference, something I've learned and used for probably 10 years. I used the Cosmic Shimmer, which I can put a link on my Facebook as well. And I used that on my acetate because it dries and it is a permanent stick. It doesn't leak into underneath where the gray part of the lens is going to be. And I did stop the video and pick up after it dried, just so we didn't have to watch paint dry, literally. And I put a nice thick layer on there because it's not going to smear. So here's where I resume the video, and I'm going to go ahead and just place that. Same thing I did with the acetate. I cut out the sunglasses and I just contoured the inside of the lenses where they didn't cut out. I'm going to glue them on his hair. I had already added the accents. And here's the finished piece, guys. Have a good day.